Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I have been getting so many requests from you guys out there that are traveling out of Lagos International Airport for the very first time, asking me to create a detailed video on what exactly you need to know about navigating this airport. And let's not lie, it seems like this is Japa season. Japa season is in full effect. What does Japa mean? Japa is simply people migrating away from Nigeria to other countries permanently, like the UK, Canada, the US. If you guys know anyone that has jackpot in the last 6 months, drop a comment below and say, yes, my person jackpot or somebody jackpot. Let me know in the comment section. If you have navigated this airport, you've traveled through this Lagos International Airport many times, I still implore and ask that you watch this video because there might be a bit of a refresher for you. I might put a few things here that might help you in your next trip, and it might also act as a chance for you to also drop some tips for your brothers and sisters. For first-time travelers traveling out of Lagos International Airport for the first time, it can really be a really daunting experience because of what you've heard from people, what you've seen online, what you've seen in the media. So I really hope this video, it's going to be very, very detailed, really helps you better, it reduces your BP so you're not scared of what you're going to experience, because it's really not that bad when you know what to expect. If after this video you still want more additional information, feel free to grab a copy of my ebook called the Lagos Airport Handbook. This ebook is something that you can easily download and take with you, and it has tips on how to navigate the airport, coming in and leaving the airport. So even if you're traveling into Lagos International Airport or out of, it is the only guide you'll need. So make sure you also check that out if you need additional information after watching this video. So if it's your first time here and you've never seen my beautiful face before, my name is Sassy Funke and I'm a Nigerian travel and lifestyle content creator, really creating to help you guys out there navigate travel better and smarter. Join the family, click that red button, subscribe, because I would love for you to be a part of this amazing community. Also give this video a huge thumbs up if you find it useful, and feel free to share it with your friends that are, thinking of traveling out of Nigeria or planning to Japa or whatnot. Send them this video right now. Because this video is going to be very detailed, I am going to be breaking everything down into different sections, right? I'll list the sections up there so you can see the different sections. And I'm going to create like a table of contents in the description box so you can easily navigate to which section that you want to navigate to. So I'm going to be talking through a few days before travel, what you need to know, 24 hours before travel, arriving at the airport, checking in, immigration and security, waiting to board, and finally on the plane. Let's start. Few days before travel. It is important for you to pack early and make sure you are responsible for packing what's in your suitcase and locking your suitcase. Make sure you know everything that you put in your suitcase. Avoid carrying items for anyone unless you personally went to buy those items yourself. Many people use other people as drug mules. Essentially, they use people to help them transport drugs, illegal drugs. If illegal drugs are found in your luggage, you are responsible for that, and you could possibly end up in prison for a long time. So be very careful about this. To avoid forgetting items you need to pack, make sure you write a list. I do this all the time. Write a list of the things I want to pack. As you're putting each item into your suitcase, tick off the items. This is a great trick so that you don't forget any items. It's important to know that the luggage weight, quantity that you're allowed to fly with depends on the airline you're flying, the ticket you bought, whether it's an economy, business ticket. But even in some economy tickets, the weight limit you're allowed to carry as check-in luggage can even differ. So it's important a few days before to actually check your ticket to ensure that you have the exact amount. You know the exact amount of luggage you're allowed to take that you've paid for. I would advise you to also purchase a hand scale so that you can actually weigh your luggage at home before you go to the airport, so that you know you're within luggage. Because the worst thing, trust me, if you're a first-time traveler, is to having to start opening your suitcase, fighting with them at the airport about luggage or whatnot. Just make sure you have everything within limits a few days before you fly. It's also important to tag your luggage, like tag it, write your name, information, your email address. I would avoid putting your own personal address because you never know what people can use that for. But in case your luggage gets lost, it's easy for them to find that you are the owner of the luggage. So get a name tag all your suitcases. COVID requirements. Given we're still in this COVID era, depending on your vaccination status, depending on the country you're traveling to or transiting through, there might be COVID requirements for you. Maybe you need to take a COVID test within a certain amount of time. So a few days before, understand what the rules are with regard to COVID for where you're traveling to, and make sure you do whatever tests you need to do in preparation for your flight. 24 hours before travel and flying, this is what you need to know. Number one, check in online. Not all airlines allow you to check in online, but some do. And by checking in online, what it means is that you're letting the airline know that 100% I am going to be on this plane, I am flying. And the process of doing that is simply going to the airline's website, finding the check-in button on there, putting in your reservation code and your surname, whatever ID you need, and this generates your booking, and then you can click check-in. Checking in is actually very important, especially in cases where an airline, and I've seen this for some airlines in the past, where they've oversold tickets. They have sold more tickets than seats that they have on the plane. By checking in, it ensures that your seat is secure. So even if you get to the airport and there are people in front of you on the queue, your seat is secure. You know what I mean? Arriving at the airport. For international flights leaving from Murtala Muhammed International Airport, I would advise you to arrive at the airport as a first-time traveler, I would say 4 hours before your flight. Around 4 hours before your flight. And I would say this is important, especially important if you're flying in the economy cabin. So if your flight is at 11 p.m., I would suggest you get to the airport. I would even say 6 o'clock, so not even as in 5 hours before your flight, 6 o'clock. I would say 6 o'clock, 6:30, get to the airport around that time. But ensure to factor in traffic time to get to the airport too when planning your transportation to the airport. Make sure your cab, your driver, whoever is driving to the airport drops you at the departures terminal. When you get to the departures terminal, if you need help with your suitcases, they actually official trolley assistance that you can pay for. I believe it's like 500 naira, and they can, the person with the trolley will help you put your suitcase into the trolley and take you inside the terminal. So that's something good that, if you're carrying so much stuff, instead of killing yourself with all the luggage, you can easily pay for someone to do this for you. Upon entering the building, the departure terminal building, a security personnel may actually ask to see your passport and your ticket before they allow you to enter the building. The reason you're doing this is because, they don't want people that are not traveling to enter the airport because they find it that it can be very crowded, and they want to prevent touts and people, from entering the airport. So that's why they're checking for this. So it's really important for you to bear this in mind in case you have family members that want to take you along and enter the airport with you. Sometimes they do allow family members, but I know people complain sometimes that they're not allowing family members. So it's important for you to bear this in mind. Once you enter the building, you will see a security machine where you actually have to take all your luggage, your handbag, everything onto this machine. It's a screening machine that screens the contents of your bag. So once you put your luggage onto this machine, you have to go to the other side, pick it up. At this stage, you might have some officials from customs and other, I think there's a Greek government entity that also can come up to you at this point and request for you to open your luggage, right? I won't lie to you, most times they're just looking for something, right? But they can also say that, you have illegal items in your luggage. So it's really important that if you're traveling out of the country, you understand what food items, for example, is okay for you to travel to that country, because they can start using mago to say you're not allowed some items at which you're actually allowed. So it's key for you to bear that in mind. Most times, I would advise you, if they try and stress you, just say to them, Oga, next time, brother, next time. Most times, if you do that, they'll leave you alone. Checking in. Once you get through this screening and this customs section of the airport, you're now free to go and check in. So you may not be aware or know exactly where your airline's check-in counter is. So feel free to ask an official there to say, okay, I'm trying to check in. Please, where is Air France? Where is BA? Where's Emirates? They'll then direct you to the part of the airport where you can actually, check in and drop your luggage and whatnot. So once you get to this section of your airline's check-in counter, you will have to stand in queue. Which queue you stand in also depends on the ticket you're holding. If you're holding a business class ticket, you find out that it's a shorter queue versus if you're holding an economy ticket. So that's how you navigate that, where economy is or where business class is. As you stand in line, you will then be asked at some point to weigh your luggage. They're going to weigh your luggage to ensure that you're actually within the limits of your allowance. Hence the reason why I said it's important for you to ensure your luggage is within, if they say 23, make sure it's 23, because if it's 24 or 25 and they're not trying to be nice to you, they'll tell you to either remove the items or leave the queue to go to their office to pay for the additional items, 2 kilos or excess weight that you need to pay for. Trust me, as a first-time traveler, you do not want to do that. You just want to be within, or if anything, pay for excess luggage before you get to this point. Once you get through this section, while still waiting in queue for check-in, you meet with some officials that will then check your passport information, any visa requirement, any COVID travel requirements that you need, any vaccinations, yellow fever cards that you need depending on the country you're traveling to. They're going to check all the documentation here to make sure that you have everything. So after checking all those documents and okaying that you have the relevant documents for travel, you will now get to the check-in counter of your airline at the airport. Here, the person checking you in will ask for your passport information and go through their process and issue you with a boarding pass, which is a sort of like a ticketing pass. And this pass is actually what you need to get on the plane. So make sure you have this pass with you. Ensure you collect all your documents back. The check-in personnel will also give you a yellow departure card. This is a departure card that you have to fill right after you leave the check-in section. So make sure you have a pen handy because you need to give the completed yellow card, this card, to immigration before leaving, before boarding your flight. Once you fill out this yellow departure card, look for the signage that says departure, immigration, departure and security, right? Look towards that section and follow the sign, yeah. Here, you will meet an official that will basically check your ticket to ensure that you actually have a ticket. You're actually a traveling passengers, just in case, you allow families to enter the terminal with you. So once the guy checks that, you're a traveling passenger, you have your boarding pass, you then enter the queue for immigration, right? On the queue for immigration, it's really important if you're, flying in the evenings to get there really early, because I've spent 2 hours, 3 hours in this queue. So if you leave it late, you might miss your flight. So it's really important you get to this immigration queue very early. The immigration officer, once you meet at the counter, will check your passport, will check your visa. They might even ask you some questions around where you're traveling to, where you're going, what you're doing, just so that they're, they just get information from you anyway. And they will also take your yellow departure card that you filled out here. They'll take it and they'll stamp your passport. If everything's okay, you might have to talk to 2 separate people once on this queue. After immigration, you will need to go through security check. Your hand luggage will need to go through the screening machine. And you also yourself will have to go through a screening machine. You may need to take off your shoes during the process. So make sure you're wearing socks so that your feet doesn't have to touch the floor, because who knows what has been on the floor. If the screening machine detects anything unusual, they'll probably have to pat you down, or if it's your luggage that has been detected, something has been detected in it, they'll have to open your luggage in front of you to make sure nothing that you're not allowed is not in your bag. After going through the security check, you may be stopped by some officials again who are likely NDLEA. These are the Drug Enforcement Agency of Nigeria. They don't stop everyone, but they do random searches, because they've actually called me out before to speak to them, and I asked them who they were. So they might check to find out where you're going, based on, they might check for your passport, to look through your passport to see whether you're a potential drug trafficker or trafficking something else. So be calm. If you're not trafficking anything, be calm, answer their questions. They're actually quite nice people, to be honest, my experience with them. So once you've gone through this section, in case you've been called by the NDLEA to speak to them, you're now in the official departures terminal, the official departures, section of the airport. Located in this section of the airport are many restaurants, shops, airline lounges. If you're a business class passenger, you're most likely entitled to use one of the airport lounges for free. Here you can, get free internet, free food, and just relax before your flight is about to take off. Otherwise, if you're an economy passenger, you actually can pay for some of these airport lounges, or you can visit, KFCs there. There are other little lounges and bars that you can relax and chill before your flight. As a first-time traveler, I would say around 2 hours before your flight, you should check your ticket, your boarding pass, and look for the gate of where your plane is going to be docked at. And I would say head over to the gate. You will notice throughout the airport that there's signage actually that will direct you towards your gates. Maybe if it's E64, E55, there'll be directions where you can see where exactly you need to go to. Waiting to board. Once you arrive at your gate, you would be asked again for your passport and your boarding pass. And yes, they might check your visa again. A lot of checks happen at this airport. So they might check so many things again. And if everything is okay, they will let you move to the next stage. Your hand luggage, again, will be opened and checked again manually this time, not by a machine. And also you'll be pat down to make sure you're not, carrying any items that is not allowed. And maybe I'll do a separate video to dive into what items are not allowed for travel, for first-time travelers to know. That might be useful. If you think that might be useful, drop a comment in the comment section below and say, Funke, please share more. At this point, when it's now time to board the plane, there'll be an announcement made by the airline official saying it's now time to board. The airline staff will then share when exactly it's time for you to board. Most likely, business class passengers and families with children will be called out first to board the plane. Then after, economy passengers. You might find out maybe on your ticket that your seat number is 30E, and the airline staff might say, people from 25 to 35, row 25 to 35, since you're 30, come on the plane. Then it's your time to actually get up and go and queue to enter the plane. On the plane, now to the final stage of actually being on the plane. Once you arrive on the plane itself, the air hostesses will be there. The airline's air hostesses will be there to actually help you. They will look at your boarding pass, so make sure you have it handy to show them, and they will direct you to exactly where your seat is. They'll just give you a direction, right? So look at your boarding pass so you know exactly where your seat number is. So if it says 30C, right, as you're going along, as you're actually going towards the back of the plane, you will notice that the numbers of the seats in which you would see near the overhead compartment, you will see the labeling is increasing as you walk towards the back. If for any reason you can't find your seat number, feel free to ask any of the air hostesses that will be so happy to help you. So just ask them if you feel uncomfortable, because I can understand as a first-time traveler, it might really feel daunting, being in this metal box and thinking, where do I go? I don't understand, It's key to know that a plane is not a moluwe or public transportation whereby you can just sit anywhere and just say, Shebi, a seat is a seat. A seat is not a seat. Don't let anybody embarrass you. Make sure you find specifically which seat you're meant to be on and sit on that seat. Note that directly above your seat are luggage compartments that you can open up to actually put your luggage, your check-in, maybe your stroller, you can put it in there. You can also put your luggage, maybe a small bag, below the seat in front of you, right? Try and avoid putting your suitcase in somebody else's section unless there is no more space directly above your seat, because people might be offended about that. Before the plane takes off, make sure to wear your seatbelt. The flight crew, right, will actually walk you through the whole process of your flight, from the safety briefings to information you may need during your flight. If for any reasons you have questions or you feel uncertain about anything, feel free to actually ask the air hostesses to help you. That is their job. Their job is to help you. Don't feel like, I'm JJC, I don't want to look somehow. Look somehow. It's better for you to be comfortable. As in, you pay for this ticket, no? Be comfortable and ask freely anything you need to ask them. So guys, this is the end of my video. I really hope the video, as it's been super long, has actually been super helpful to you. Like, that is my aim here. My aim is to help you guys navigate travel better, smarter. Something that someone else might think, it's not a big deal, like everyone should know that. I didn't know this when I first started traveling. So I think it's important for you to be aware of this information. If you have any specific questions, or you even have video ideas you want me to do for first-time travelers specifically, like, let me know in the comment section. And it's been a long video. if you made it here, just say, Sassy, you rock. Actually, no, Sassy, we rock. Yeah, because we're in this together. Sassy, we rock. I want to see that in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a huge thumbs up, share this with your friends, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.